presenting a picture of the deceased son looking down sadly at his father's grave site with his father's face over the poor child's left shoulder. They have Lucci. They can say, oh, we're not anticipating Lucci testifying. Okay, subpoena him and tell him to come into court.
Day 84 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial was intriguing. Detective Teague testifies to footage of Yak Gotti in a nearby gas station before the shooting. The defense lawyers poke holes in the investigation, showing how they didn't get crucial surveillance video of YSL members meeting at a McDonald's after the murder. Yet today the state kind of fumbled connecting the Pontiac to the footage of the shooting. The detective didn't get the footage. There's no footage of this Pontiac rolling by the barbershop. In the later part of this video, they try to get an album cover of YFN Lucci put into evidence, and it completely fails. So you'll see that. Hit subscribe. Here we go. First look at Yak Gotti in court right now. Footage of him entering a gas station gets brought up today, so that's why I'm pointing him out. And first look at Thug in a turtleneck, it looks like. And a nice sneeze for the boys. Hit subscribe for that sneeze and hit the like button. Let's go, boys. Oh, so we're going to see the angle of the shooting inside the barbershop. So everyone's going to be running and diving for the floor pretty much. So everyone just dove for the floor. I'm gonna have to blur it completely because YouTube age restricted my last video, even though I blurred everything. YouTube person, if you're watching this, don't age restrict my video. But yeah, I mean, it's just people diving for the floor. We've all seen this in shooting videos before. Sadly, there's children running in there as well, so. Whoa, someone has a gun in their hand right there.
Detective T, did you see someone inside the barbershop with a red jacket with the letters BGCMB displayed on the back?
Yes.
Do you know that person?
No.
Damn, so that's one of, I would imagine, Donovan Thomas's friends that probably dipped before the police got there. Bro had a damn AR on him. Did he shoot back? So police arrived within 5 minutes or so. That's not bad response time. Oh, the red jacket guy's still there. Who just had an AR on him.
Did the person with the red jacket on, did he exit the barbershop? Something white in his hand?
Yes, he's going to the door right now.
Police are obviously inside asking questions now at this point. 27 minutes since shots were fired.
This is the barbershop footage in the parking lot between the gas station and the barbershop. The same parking lot, but looking out on McDaniel Street.
So there's the person out the sunroof. So there's some confusion. I thought it was an INFINITI, right? It's an INFINITI that they're shooting out of, right? But they keep bringing up this Pontiac. Guy in the white shirt in my last video testified about a Pontiac. So this footage right here from the Texaco is at 7:23 p.m. What I think the state is saying is that Yak Gotti drove past the barbershop, went into this gas station, and saw them all hanging out front, then went back and met with everyone and switched into a INFINITI.
Barbershop's going to be to the left in kind of a southerly direction.
There's Yak Gotti opening the door. 6:42 p.m.
Detective T, is this the same gentleman that exited the Pontiac?
Yes.
Is he wearing a black coat?
Yes.
Do you know that individual?
No.
He doesn't know Yak Gotti's name? What? I thought he's a detective. I'm confused here.
We're going to go ahead and take your comfort break and then go ahead and just take lunch, okay? So,
Judge has got to take a shit and eat his McDouble.
Detective T, is the gentleman with the black coat still in his frame?
Yes.
So he's leaving at 6:44 p.m. I think they're insinuating that he spotted them out front. They haven't really clarified this at all. So there he's going in the Pontiac right here.
Entering the passenger side, front seat.
So now it's 7:14, and I think that's the INFINITI that just pulled up.
Pulled directly in front of the Pontiac?
Yes.
Did you know what type of vehicle this is?
Not off the top of my head.
Did you see the gentleman with the black coat on exit the passenger side of the Pontiac? And if he approached the vehicle that stopped in front of the Pontiac?
Yes.
Detective T, did you see the gentleman in the black coat?
Yes, he got back into the driver's side of the vehicle.
Did you see the guy in the black coat approach any vehicle?
Yes, it approaches this vehicle is pulled up right there in the middle of the screen.
That's the INFINITI. Yak Gotti just walked up to the driver's side and he's talking to them. Wait, they're done? The state didn't really explain anything. They just pointed out two cars at a gas station. Shen Stillwell's lawyer up. Shen Stillwell is the alleged shooter.
I believe we've established that even though the video says 8 o'clock, as it appears to begin according to the camera at 8 o'clock p.m., that time is off a certain amount.
Yes, it is.
And could you remind me what that?
It's like about 46 minutes fast.
Okay, approximately 46 minutes fast.
Right, so just so we're all on the same page ahead of where it should be.
And is it fair to say that all the cameras from this system, from the cameras on that barbershop, are linked in time with each other?
Yes.
So they're all 46 minutes fast?
Yes.
This video begins at 8 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
Did you collect any videotape prior to this video saying 8 o'clock p.m. in real time? It would be 46 minutes before that.
No.
Okay. Were you asked by Detective Thorpe to collect any video that would have been prior to this time from these video cameras?
No.
Wait. The main video showing everyone getting shot outside, they only have 8 minutes before the shots are fired. Why would they do that? 8 minutes is not enough time.
To do so, would you have collected those videos?
Yes.
Were those videos available to your knowledge?
They were available.
Okay. Now, this begins at 8 o'clock p.m. according to this camera, I guess 7:14 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, in Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
You don't know Donovan Thomas.
No.
Okay, and you have not identified Donovan Thomas in any videos, correct?
No.
Okay, but you have identified a man in a camouflage jacket, correct?
They pointed out, yeah, he was walking around out there.
Oh, so this is actually 7:14 p.m. The time is just off on the cameras.
That gentleman remains on the camera in this parking lot from the time the video begins until the time he's shot. You would agree?
I agree.
Okay. The shooting on the video is approximately 8:08:37.
Yes, around 8:08. That's what I'm saying.
37?
Yeah.
Okay. So according to this video, this gentleman was in that parking lot for approximately 8 minutes and 37 seconds before being shot.
Yes.
Okay. And additionally, we don't have video from prior to 8 o'clock p.m. according to this video, 7:14 Eastern Standard Time.
No.
Okay, so that gentleman, we can say before being shot, was in that parking lot at least 8 minutes and 37 seconds and potentially longer than that if we had video from prior to that time.
Yeah, potentially.
Objection, Your Honor.
Basis.
You would. Sorry, speculation.
I stand.
Okay, we don't have that video.
No, we don't have it.
Okay.
So they only have 8 minutes of footage, actually? Why would they do that?
Did not walk out of a barbershop immediately prior to being shot. You would agree, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
I stand.
According to the video that you've reviewed, you would agree that this gentleman did not walk out of a barbershop immediately prior to being shot. According to the
Your
video,
Honor.
Still same basis, Mr. Sharp. Move on. I stand objection.
you were asked about a gentleman in a red jacket on direct, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you were asked about the color of his jacket, correct?
Yes.
What about what's in his hand?
It looks to be a long gun.
A what?
A long gun.
When you say long gun, what does that mean?
Rifle.
What kind of rifle? Assault rifle?
I don't like the term assault rifle. Just
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
I stand.
I mean, it's obvious the state was trying to skip over that this guy had a goddamn assault rifle in his hand.
My understanding is your role in this case was to collect footage from two specific locations, correct?
yes.
The barbershop, which we just viewed, and the Texaco. Other times, if the owner of the camera is not cooperative, you can use search warrants and different subpoenas to obtain camera footage, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You've testified that Detective Thorpe asked you to collect these two cameras from these two locations. Are you familiar with the Green Store?
Yeah, I think so.
Convenience
Yes.
store, Phoenix Bright Green,
Yes.
in the Mechanicsville area, correct? About quarter mile from the barbershop?
Yes.
Did Investigator Thorpe ever ask you to collect video, security video from the Green Store from January 10, 2015?
Basis.
Can't hear, sir.
I wouldn't be here, sir, but I'll sustain in terms of relevance.
May we approach?
No.
May I proffer?
No. We can profit later. Just go ahead and ask your next question.
How is that not relevant? He's trying to poke holes in their investigation, just asking if they got footage from specific places that YSL is known to hang out at.
Did Investigator Thorpe ever ask you to collect video from the McDonald's at the corner of Old Hateville Road and Cleveland Avenue for January 10, 2015?
No.
That's a big one. You know why? Because Woody says they all met at McDonald's after the shooting. So why wouldn't detectives get footage of this occurring? All these guys meeting at McDonald's after killing someone. In what world would you not go get that footage? Maybe the footage doesn't exist or it was broken or something, but that's a big hole in the investigation not to get that footage to show that all these guys were together in the vehicle that killed someone.
Investigator Dennis ever ask you to collect that video from the McDonald's?
No, not that I remember.
Did Investigator Gaither ever ask you to collect a video from that McDonald's?
No.
If they asked you, would you have collected it?
Yes, I would have.
Did Investigator Thorpe ever ask you to search for other video systems or surveillance system in other businesses in the area?
No.
He's doing what any lawyer would do, poking holes in the investigation, saying they pretty much botched the investigation, didn't get all the surveillance video they needed to get, or the LPRs, the license plate readers. All depends on how the jury sees this. There's not much that puts these guys in this car besides footage at the gas station of Yak Gotti. Yak Gotti doesn't even get into the INFINITI on that footage. He gets back in the Pontiac, which they have no footage of the Pontiac ever driving by the barbershop. So Miss Love wearing nothing but green today. She must be in YSL. Doug's lawyer Brian Steele up for cross.
Were there these type of cameras throughout the city that we're talking about right now in the area that could have been gotten? I know you weren't asked to do it.
Yeah, possibly.
And do you have any evidence to show what time that person exited any building?
Not that I remember.
Okay, so that person was already on the scene around that vehicle that you identified, I think with the help of the prosecution, as in Tahoe. Is that
Yes.
fair to say? And I'd like to focus on what I think you've identified as a Pontiac vehicle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's just go through this. Is that the Pontiac you've been talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you're certain it's a Pontiac because you know cars?
That's why I'm familiar with the grill, kind of on that vehicle.
You said the grill. Is that true?
Yeah, the grill and the lights pattern.
You know that to be a proper time. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
How do you know it to be the proper time, the 1842?
Because this particular system, like I said, is a computer-based system and it's connected to the internet.
And if we can move it almost to the time of the shooting, which is around, according to this, I know it's not the real time because we have to subtract 46 minutes, but about 8:08. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Was a Pontiac a lighter colored car in the Texaco gas station?
Yes, he looked at me.
I'd like to see a car before the shooting.
I don't see the Pontiac. Is that the Pontiac?
Can you see that the grille has lines going horizontal?
Yes, I can see it right there.
Okay. And that's different than the Pontiac that you showed us earlier, correct?
Yes.
So that's not the Pontiac, fair to say?
Fair to say.
And when I say the grille, can you just show the jurors, because we're going to have another 12 seconds until the shooting, until what I call 39 seconds, 40 seconds at 8:08. Is that true? Until the shooting, what appears to be people reacting to gunfire?
Yes.
So one of the witnesses says he saw a Pontiac, but there's no footage of a Pontiac anywhere. Yak Gotti's lawyer up for cross. Obviously, he was accused of being in the car, and he's on the gas station footage too, so.
Car goes by that appears to do the shooting, and tell me if you see that car stop for 20 seconds, okay? Do you see the car stop for 20 seconds like something out of Boys in the Hood?
No.
Basically discrediting that witness that said the car was slow rolling and stopping like Boys in the Hood. He's doing what any lawyer would do. I mean, it's contradicting from the video and the witness testimony.
Get in the driver's side of the Pontiac. Do you recall testifying to that?
Yes, I did.
And then you testified that at 19:17:27 that the Pontiac pulls out of the gas station, correct?
Yes, I did.
Do you ever see the man in the black coat get into any other car?
No.
So the last that you see of the man in the black coat is that he gets into the Pontiac and the Pontiac pulls out, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I have no more questions. Thank you.
Pointing out that Yak Gotti's on camera going into the Pontiac, not the Infinity. So just trying to separate his client from the incident, clearly in front of the jury. Is it going to work? Who knows what the jury's thinking, dude? I really don't know at this point. This trial's such a goddamn shit show and it's taking so long.
Did you actually watch with the owner of the barbershop and the, I'm going to say the manager, but whomever at Texaco? Were you there on the scene actually able to watch the video and then download it or capture
No,
it?
usually, the process I use is I go in and first thing I have to do is I have to establish the time offset if there is one. Once I've established the time offset, I pull the time frame that the detective referenced. Once I pull the video, these systems, you can't watch the video while it's pulled. You get a progress bar like you're downloading something.
And then the lead investigator, you watched the videos to make sure they were there?
Yes.
Otherwise you go back, I assume.
Yeah, and go back, and then the lead investigator, he's supposed to watch them again. Over time, sometimes they've asked, well, can you go back and get before, or can you go back and get after? Never was requested to go back and get any more.
In this case?
In this case.
Even though the car is driving past the barbershop, past the Texaco, and makes a turn?
Yeah.
I didn't ask the question? Okay.
The judge has been a little strict today on the defense, sustaining a lot from the state. Like he sustained something earlier that was definitely relevant, and then he just sustained a question that didn't even happen yet. So the jury excused for the day, but now we're going to go over a few things that the state wants to bring in, like this picture of a YFN LUCCI album cover.
Okay, so this one,
So this is the album cover, obviously. Long Live Nut.
orientation, I believe, I am not telling you I'm correct. It's an album cover. It says Long Live Nut. It says YFN LUCCI, and then there's, you can read it, I can read it anyway. Upside down, it is the gravestone of Mr. Thomas. So I am objecting to that both under sympathy and the album cover is a gentleman who the state has on the witness list, if they want to call him, but they said that they indicated anyway, he doesn't seem to appear on the witness list that's coming up. So that's why I'm objecting. So I don't see the relevance / I see a lot of 403 issues I'd like to raise, including sympathy.
The significance of this album, or this particular picture, not even the album, is to show the continuous relationship between Mr. Bennett and Mr. Donovan Thomas even after death. So what we know, what I believe will come out through testimony with Mr. Donovan Thomas Sr. is that both Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr. and Rayshawn Bennett had a business relationship. Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr. is actually the individual that brought Rayshawn Bennett to TIG Records, and you're going to hear some of that testimony tomorrow. But what this indicates that it was more than just a business relationship. It was a friendship, because even after his death, he decided to name an album after this individual had passed away 2 years prior. Why is that relevant? In the midst of what the state believes was a gang war in 2017, and I'm actually getting ready to get the dates specifically, is that we believe YSL continued to target Mr. Rayshawn Bennett as a result of, or as a part of this gang war. So immediately following the murder of Donovan Thomas, you've heard some testimony that Rayshawn Bennett's mother's home was shot up. As years progressed, YSL continued to antagonize Mr. Bennett. Mr. Williams himself, and this is one of the acts in our indictment, actually made a threat to Mr. Bennett on social media saying, if I didn't like what you did for your mother and your kids, I would have been killed you. Then we had another act in the indictment.
They gotta bring LUCCI in here for all this, in my opinion. How are they gonna get this in without having LUCCI testify?
And then lastly, one of the events that we believe led to the death of Shamel Drinks is while Mr. Bennett was incarcerated in the Fulton County Jail, a YSL member, Jaden Myrick, we believe at the direction of we believe Mr. Williams actually stabbed LUCCI while in the Fulton County Jail.
How do you know that it was at the direction of Thug? Do you have jail calls of Thug saying, hey bro, go stab him or something? How do they know that Thug instructed this guy to stab LUCCI? How do they know that?
One, we believe, is the killing of 2 individuals, Mr. Christian McMiller and Darius Ford, and then that killing ultimately led to the killing of Mr. Chanel Drinks. So this picture is not being presented for sympathy, but for the relevance of the relationship between Mr. Donovan Thomas and Mr. Bennett, more than just a business relationship, but an actual friendship. And again, after the murder of Donovan Thomas, Mr. Bennett had continued to be targeted by YSL. So in the distance is Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr. Standing is, of course, Mr. Lucci, Mr. Rayshawn Bennett, and next to that is Donovan Thomas' son, Donovan Thomas Jr.'s son.
Is Mr. Lucci going to testify at some point? That's my first question.
At this juncture, we do not believe he'll be testifying.
All right. How does his father know about that senior, Donovan Thomas Sr., know about this particular issue? I mean,
about the picture?
Yeah.
I mean, he saw it himself. He was aware that it existed. He was aware that this individual made a album dedicated to his son. And he knows that that's his grandson on the picture. And he knows that's his son in the background. And he knows that that's Mr. Rayshawn Bennett.
The court's concern is you're going to elicit hearsay. Because if you're asking Mr. Donovan Thomas Sr., about this particular album, it'd be more relevant if Mr. Lucci's going to testify. He could say, well, yeah, we had such a close relationship. I named my album after him, okay?
I just said this. They need Lucci to testify for this to come in.
Third party, you're talking about conversations that were had potentially with a decedent, or we're getting the same problem we had before. Same issue. It's not a residual hearsay issue. You're going to get into some hearsay potentially.
But I think I can ask Mr. Donovan Thomas, did he know about an album called Long Live Nut? He'll say yes.
Okay.
And had you ever seen the album cover to that? Yes. So that would not elicit any hearsay
right.
at all, because he has knowledge of this album cover. He knows about it. He's seen it.
You're not going to ask him how he has knowledge about it, right?
No.
Okay.
That he's seen it, that Nut is his son, there's a picture of his son, his grandson, and that would be
given that, Mr. Steele, I'll assuming they can allow a foundation, I'll allow it over your objection.
Apparently she's not going to ask him how. Mr. Schardt has something to say about this ruling.
We would like to add to the argument. This is a 403 issue. If you recall, there was a picture in life, Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr., the deceased. We discussed it, in the state's stance on, we're going to let it in, we're going to bring it in through the mothers. Their stance was, it's just a picture of him, it's not of his children, it's not anything like that, it's just him. Here, they are running an end around of 403, of the picture in life ruling and everything else, presenting a picture of the deceased's son looking down sadly, and of course it is sad, but it's not appropriate for trial, looking down sadly at his father's grave site with his father's face over the poor child's left shoulder. They have so many other ways to establish the relationship between Lucci and Donovan Thomas. They have witnesses, including Donovan Thomas Sr. They have a plethora of pictures off of Donovan Thomas's Instagram with Lucci in them. They have Lucci. They can say, we're not anticipating Lucci testifying, Mr. Bennett testifying. Okay, subpoena him and tell him to come into court. They can do that. Mr. Bennett doesn't get to decide if he's testifying or not.
Schart's kind of snapping here. I mean, it's the victim's son looking down at his father's grave. It is the definition of sympathy for a jury to see this.
But the idea that we're just going to allow a picture of the deceased son looking sadly down at his father's grave.
So you're saying maybe more prejudicial than probative?
It's substantially more prejudicial.
How about if I order the state to leave everything in there except Lucy, Long Live Nut, and crop out everything else? Crop out the three people in the picture and the gravestone.
That would work for me.
All right, here's the issue that I find, Miss Hilton.
So Schardt flipped the judge back to redaction. Okay, Schardt.
The issue I find is problematic in this case. You got a child that's in here, and that's going to be more prejudicial than probative. So if you want the album cover in, you can crop out the three people and the gravestone. The album cover is relevant. You could admit it, but I want you to crop out the three people in the gravestone. Just the whole issue of the setup of the album cover, and I need to paint for the record. You do have the fading of Donovan Thomas Jr., his son, and looking at the gravestone, and Mr. Lucci looking at the gravestone. The court's ruling is based upon you have his son's on the album cover, and that's what tips the prejudice in the court's opinion.
But I also hear them saying that if we bring Lucci in, then it'll be fine for us to put the album cover up. So if it is fine, if Lucci comes in and we put the album cover up, then the prejudice is not different or the same. Matter of fact, I think Mr. Bennett
it still would be prejudicial. You'd still have the same objection. I'd still have to rule upon it.
Defense lawyers never said that the album cover's fine with Lucci up there. So I don't know what she's yapping about.
A child and a person he did an album with cover Mr. Lucci, who's holding some flowers and then looking at the grave. In and of itself may be more prejudice than probative. As to the point it brings in sympathy. But what I am saying is, to make it relevant, you can use that, but just crop out the gravestone and the three people in there, and then it would be, you've got an album cover, and I think that covers that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for day 84. I don't feel like the state did very well at the whole car situation. They haven't really put anyone in this car. Yak Gotti didn't enter the car on any footage. I'm waiting for them to prove that anyone in YSL was in this vehicle. I don't know when they're going to prove that. I'm pretty sure they only have snitches that put these people in the car. Like, that's it. Nothing else. If I was on the jury, I'd want some solid evidence to put these guys in the car. So comment down below what you guys think. Hit subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.